Hello and welcome back. Today, guys, I want to talk about cancel culture and why I think it should stay. Now, I know it's gonna blow some people away, and some people are like, bro, what the fuck? What do you mean? So I'm going to do my best to explain that, explaining what cancel culture is for some people who may not know. Cancel culture is basically people looking into your past, digging up dirt, or finding out what type of person you were or things you may have done, and then bringing that to light, showing it to the public, and then basically from there they decide what they want to do with it, whether it be question your integrity, question why you still have a job or you still have a career, why you're not banned off a certain platform, or whatever the case may be. Okay, that's pretty much cancel culture is. And then in some cases they succeed. They question why you still have a job, and basically you lose that job. I think that to an extent it needs to stay. And people are like, wait, what? Like, because hear me out. I'm not saying people shouldn't be forgiven for the things they've done. In fact, I'm not even saying people should be hated for the things they've done. I honestly think that people do make mistakes and that you shouldn't be hated or not forgivable. That's a word for actions you've committed for almost 8 to 10 years ago, 2 to 5 years ago, whatever case may be, whatever timeline fits in your narrative, whatever works for you. But here's what I will say. I think that shit should stick with you. When I'm talking about sticking with you, the action that you have committed. Because for me, as I look into this, the cases that I found, the examples I'm going to provide in today's video, are mainly people doing racist, ignorant, bigot, discriminatory shit, if that's a word, against a group of people, a minority, whatever the case may be. I think that shit should be stuck with you. And you may say, why? Well, if you think about a felony, no matter how much you change, no matter what you've done differently, no matter how much you wrapped your life around, that shit will always be with you. And felonies stick with you for the exact reason to be made an example of, to let society know these are heinous criminal acts that we do not tolerate. This is stuck with you for the rest of your life. It goes nowhere. Every time you go apply for a job, every time you go show up for an interview, people can check your background. You go sign a lease. This goes nowhere. And I feel like they do that to set an example of just how bad or criminal something like rape is, sexual assault, sexual harassment, you name it. These are just examples of what society has in place to let you know we do not tolerate this behavior. And until we get something in place as a society to deem this shit not okay, where you can't do this shit behind closed doors, in Discord parties, Xbox Live parties, amongst your friends, being raised up in your household telling that this is okay. Until this is deemed not acceptable by society, I'm for cancel culture, to make an example of these people, to let society know that this is not okay to behave in this manner. You don't have to hate them. You can even forgive them, but the world needs to know that this is not okay. This is not how you behave. And I feel like that is an important message that cancel culture sends. Now, some people may be like, how can you compare words that come out of your mouth to a felony? The best way I can put that in perspective is looking around us today. If you think about the protests going on, the Black Lives Matter movement, civil unrest going on right now, why is that happening? It's because of racist, ignorant, bigot shit has been happening, and people are tired of it, bro. And when you see stuff like this that these people have done, what do? We forgive them. We slap them on the wrist. It was just a mistake. This is something that, for example, in Mark Wahlberg's case, where I'm going to talk about his story in just a bit, that it was deemed okay in his household, maybe when he was growing up. It was deemed okay amongst his friends. And this shit is not okay. It's not acceptable. Now, you don't deserve to be hated your whole life, but you've done this. What he did was considered a hate crime. Now, I forgive Mark Wahlberg, but with that in mind, it doesn't mean that you should be pardoned for this shit. Just like you wouldn't be pardoned for a felony if you raped a woman or something like that. Some people think that that's to an extreme, but I'm trying to tell you is that we are at this point today where people are angry, they're frustrated, they're sick of this shit. You're seeing statues being pulled out, you're seeing buildings being burned, you are seeing violence towards the police, rocks being thrown at them, vandalism amongst the city. You're seeing people not give a fuck about COVID-19, spreading this shit like a wildfire just to make a point. We are here today because people are sick of this racist, bigot, ignorant shit, getting a slap on the wrist and then moving on about it. If you did something racist, ignorant, or even the shit that PewDiePie did on his stream, watch, I'm gonna show you an example of that, you would lose your job instantly. And not only that, if you went to apply anywhere else and they seen the shit that you did, you would not get hired there. ever, bro. With that in mind, guys, let's hop into some of these examples, and I'm going to try to talk about their story, how I feel about it, why I think this should be stuck with them, you name it. Mark Wahlberg is actually one of my favorite actors, and I had no clue that this was actually something that happened. Left out of the loop, had never known this. Wahlberg and two of his friends were issued a civil rights injunction over a 1986 incident in which they threw rocks at a group of 10 and 11-year-old black children while yelling slurs said to include "kill the..." You guys can read that. All right, let's keep going. 2 years later, he had an attempted murder charge downgraded after his attack on two Vietnamese men that included him calling one of them a Vietnam fucking shit. Wahlberg only served 45 days for this attack, in which he punched one of the men in the face and hit the other in the head with a piece of wood, knocking him unconscious. He's committed at least 5 hate crimes. He only apologized while seeking a pardon 26 years ago. Wahlberg did indeed try to expunge the hate crimes from his record, but later dropped the pardon request and said he regretted making it. John Boyega, if I'm saying that right, is worried he won't work again because he was vocal at an anti-racism protest, but Wahlberg has a slew of hate crime incidents on his Wikipedia page, but he has jobs left and right. What the actual fuck? If you still don't know what white privilege is, Mark Wahlberg committed hate crimes, has a Wikipedia section dedicated to it, and we never talk about it. Let's go down here. I have no idea who this guy is. I'm not gonna lie. It says we live in a world where John Boyega might be blackballed for speaking out against racist violence, and Mark Wahlberg will always work despite being guilty. I'm not saying someone deserves to be hated for the rest of their life. I'm not saying someone doesn't deserve to be forgiven. I don't have anyone that I hate in this world. But what I will say is that what happened here, I don't care how old or how little he was, how long ago this happens, this needs to be noted. It needs to be made an example of. It needs to let the world know that this is not okay, that no matter what age this is at, bro, this is not okay. Now, as far as speaking of if Mark Wahlberg should ever work again or anything like that, I'm not gonna sit here and be judge, jury of executioner of every case. That's not my job. Quite frankly, I will say this though. If I was a CEO of a company, or if I had a brand, if I was EA, anything, bro, you name it, okay? And Mark Wahlberg had applied, I'm just gonna say this, is that I would not want the backlash that came with having a quote unquote racist violence within their background. It's just like a felony, guys. No matter what you do, bro, no matter how much community service you provide, no matter how many elderly you help, no matter how much you donate, that shit does not go away. It's to let the world know, don't do shit like this. We are here, once again, like I've been saying, because of the fact that shit like this has been happening, and we get a slap on the wrist and move on about it. No more, bro. No more. That's why people are angry. That's why you're seeing violence against cops. I'm not going to reiterate all these points, but this shit cannot just be, yeah, it happened so long ago. No, it did. I forgive you, but this shit needs to stay. You need to be made an example of. This is not okay. It's not okay in your household. It's not okay to be amongst friends. It's not okay to do when no one is looking. It's not okay. It is not fucking okay. Jenna Marbles, I had no clue who she was before this incident or what she was doing, so I'm not going to pretend like I do or know who she is as a person or her character. Let's go ahead and take a look at what she did, and then I'm going to kind of break it down and give you my thoughts.
It has been private for quite some time, but it looks like this. And I do just want to tell you that.
So let's educate some people on what blackface is, because there might be some people out there that genuinely be like, what? She dressed up as Nicki Minaj. How can this be offensive? You know, she's just doing a parody. So let's go ahead and read exactly what blackface is. In the United States, the practice gained popularity during the 19th century and contributed to a spread of racial stereotypes, such as happy-go-lucky darky on the plantation or the dandified coon. By the middle of the century, blackface minstrel shows have become a distinctive American art form. In the United States, blackface had largely fallen out of favor. By the turn of the 21st century, it is now generally considered offensive, disrespectful, and racist though the practice continues in other countries. This is someone doing blackface. They have them kind of looking crazy as hell, very big painted lips, and they would often make African American, while they're dressed up as them, look ignorant, just degrade them. That's what blackface is. So this is why this is frowned upon. This is why people consider this racist. So people are coming after her right now for one of the things she did. Let's go ahead and take a second look at what she did the same year after she performed blackface, and I would assume backlash came after her. The second that video hit the internet, somebody had to let her know that this was not okay. This was dumb. What the fuck is this? Don't do stuff like this. So let's say she got away with that first one and she made a mistake. Well, if that's not enough, the same year she puts out another one. So this was her second video.
Here's the clip. I will play it for you. Here, hold on, let me remind you. So as you can see, I said, hey ching chong wing wong, shake your King Kong ding dong. Sorry that was racist, I'm bad at rap songs. It's awful, it doesn't need to exist. It's inexcusable, it's not okay. I'm incredibly sorry.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause it there. Again, I'm not here to judge the person. I'm just simply saying that this needs to be made an example of. This is not okay. It is ignorant. It is racist. There are stereotypes being thrown in here, and that's what the world needs to see. That's what the world needs to know. This shit is not okay. This kind of got to me. This is one of the first ones that really pissed me off, guys. I'm not gonna lie, it really got under my skin. I was just chilling and it's popped up in my recommended. This is something that PewDiePie did, not just once, which I thought was the case. There is an entire compilation of this man saying the N-word, most of the time with just the A at the end, so he just feeling comfortable, you know, trying to be funny or whatever the case may be. But the second clip, he drops the hard yar. So let's go ahead and listen.
Everything nugget, ninja nugget. I almost said nigga.
What a fucking nigger. Jeez, oh my god, what the fuck? Sorry, but what the fuck? What a fucking asshole. I don't mean that in a bad way. Jesus fuck. Why would he do that? Legit, why would he do that?
So the rest of the video just goes on him saying the word, usually with the A at the end, and him just feeling very casual about it, whatever the case may be. But this shit was the first to actually piss me off. Not showing it right now, maybe because I'm more mellowed out, but it's just sad to see that shit. And people were talking about this slipped, oh, you know, he made a mistake, blah blah blah. No, when something like this happens, guys, this is a term he uses commonly. Okay, he talks like this behind closed doors when no one is looking, or he thinks no one is looking. He talks like this to his friends. It's his word he commonly uses. It's just shit he's doing in a Discord, whatever the case may be, a party, whatever the fuck it is, an Xbox party, a PSN party. This is stuff that he does consistently, and people are like, well, should he lose his job? Should he not be able to be on YouTube? Should he be punished for something he did so long ago? It was a mistake. For you guys that keep bringing it up as an argument, listen to me very closely. In the real world, if you did something like this and there was a clip of you and the person you were applying for, no matter what job it was, would they fucking hire you? Would you be able to work in the real world, whether it be in retail, whether it be in a restaurant, wherever the fuck you want to work? If this was underneath their staff, what do you think they would do to you? Because I can guarantee you it's not going to be to continue to allow you to work. I'm just trying to say that, fine, go ahead and forgive this person. Don't hate him. You don't have to go after him. You don't have to do backlash, but this shit needs to be made an example of. This shit needs to be shown that this is not okay behind closed doors in people's face, and nowhere this is okay. And when people start to understand that, and these people are being made examples of, I think then we can start going forward. This is why I kind of support cancel culture in a sense, I'm sorry. And if you've noticed, guys, every example that I found so far and everything that comes up my recommended, I'm only fucking finding shit that I've seen. Okay, I don't go out and actively see this. It's always someone doing racist, ignorant, bigot shit. This is legit irritates the fuck out of me, but let's continue on. So guys, we got two more examples here, and both of them are in the FGC. If you guys don't know what the FGC is, it's for the fighting game community, competitive fighting games. This was one of the two cases, again, where someone's doing racist, ignorant, bigot shit, maybe not on purpose, maybe just truly ignorant, Whatever the case may be, man, I'm gonna let you guys just play out this clip here. This is ButtonCheck, a really good channel. They break down constant news in the FGC, but I'm gonna play this out for you.
Also this morning, he posted this tweet right here of a watermelon. Right off the top, he says, check it out, LOL, just of a big watermelon. But you see the whole thing, the hashtag, it says, watermelon lives matter, winky face. So instantly people were outraged and they were confused, and well, a lot of people are like, I don't get it. Like, what the hell is this? Because it seemed random. There was no follow-up. People were like, why would you just drop this and not say anything? And why would you drop it in the first place at all? And why people were thinking that, other people were like, no, this is just fucking racist. Like, why are you gonna take the Black Lives Matter movement and put this hashtag? It's almost like you're either making fun of it or you're trying to be racist towards black people to close the whole watermelon stereotype. So a lot of people know this is just racist, this is bullshit, like what the fuck?
And that's the Lopez. It's telling you that, man, he's been around the FGC for a very long time. This man's been a sponsored player, multiple orgs. He's always kind of been a mouthy person, loves to talk, and he can back it up. Why do something like this in a time like this? When you actually watched him later on, he said he has a couple of black brothers, that he was just not racist. He was telling people this, you know, his brothers were there with him on stream. And again, I have no hate towards this person, but this is something that just needs to be made an example of. It's not acceptable. It's not okay. He was actually banned off the entire Capcom Pro Tour for Street Fighter V. He's not allowed in any events, actually any Capcom events in general. So that means Marvel vs. Capcom, Street Fighter V, Street Fighter 6. He is completely banned permanently off the tour. Now, some people are like, bro, this is a overreaction, blah, blah, blah. It was a bad joke at a bad time. He doesn't deserve this. Whatever he deserves, I'm saying that this needs to be made an example of. NY Chris G, a really, really big name, been around for a very long time, has been sponsored one of the best organizations, Evo finalist, you name it, man. It's a decorated, great fighting game player. This was quite some time ago, and people dug this back up, and he lost his sponsor from EG. Black female gamers suck. Asian female gamers at least pretend to be good. There you go. Bonus reason, y'all ratchet as hell. Chris, it's important to note that when he tweeted this out or said this, wherever the fuck he was when he did this, he literally apologized for it. I believe shortly after, he reached out to his org and said, yo man, I fucked up, I think I messed up, blah blah blah. And his org told him that, oh, don't worry about it, Chris, we'll work with you, we'll try to get through this, blah blah blah. And then later on, when the Black Lives Matter movement happened and people started digging and stuff started resurfacing, evil geniuses dropped him. It looks bad on their part because they tried to hide it, and now that when this stuff happens, now they have the integrity to drop Chris and blah blah blah. But what pisses me off, it wasn't he fucked up until he realized everything that he could lose. It wasn't fucked up because this is what I said was actually messed up. I shouldn't be looking at people like this. You know, I shouldn't be talking about people like this. It was messed up because, oh shit, I might be able to lose my sponsorship because of this. I might lose what I've worked for all this time because of this. That's when it became fucked up. Same thing, guys. This needs to be made an example of. This needs to be shown to the world that this is not okay. Nowhere behind closed doors, nowhere on social media, nowhere in conversations. This shit is not okay, bro. But guys, this is my take on cancel culture, and these are the examples that constantly pop up in my face. If you guys have different examples, or maybe there wasn't some racist, ignorant, or bigot shit, or hateful shit, discriminatory shit that you guys can find and people are trying to cancel, I think only one I could possibly think of off the top of my head was a Joe Rogan one, which I didn't include because it's a bit too long with the face mask. You guys can look into that if you so choose. But as you know, that didn't work out, by the way. But that's gonna do it for me, guys. I'm out. Peace.